Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Firefly Tarot. So for this reading, we're going to be taking a look into a specific person that you have in mind and see what's going on in the situation and why they've been silent. So obviously, a lot of this is going to depend on the situation itself. It's a general reading, so I will do my best. I do recommend, though, for clarity's sake, definitely to have one particular person in mind. I suppose you could do this more than once if you have more than one person, but just for now, just to pick that one person that you feel called to the most. This could be any person of interest. This is not just a love reading. It could be it could be romantic. It could be a friend. It could be an acquaintance, a family member, anybody. So as long as you have them in your mind. I do like doing these types of connection readings. I just find them very, very interesting. But again, it is a general reading, so take what resonates. And if you would like a personal reading, the information is below. So I'll show you each of the groups. Group number 1 is the Golden Healer Quartz. Group number 2 is the Malachite. Group number 3 is cinnabrite. And group number 4 is iolite. Okay, so just take as much time as you need, and you can pause if you need to. And whenever you guys are ready, I will see you at your reading. Hey guys, this is the reading for those of you who chose group number 1, which is the Golden Healer Quartz. So again, as I mentioned in the intro, please just have in mind clearly the person that you want to focus on for this reading. Spirit, this reading is for group number 1, please and thank you. And the person that they have in mind, our Golden Healer Quartz group. So we're looking into why are they silent? Spirit, can you please give us a starting message for group number 1 and their person of interest and why they're silent? Just any starting message at all. I think it's been several years since I've done this topic. So let's see. Okay, so just the starting message here with the Queen of Cups, it looks like someone is actually kind of waiting around a little bit. I kind of hesitate to say that because it's like a hesitation feeling in itself. I'm not sure if this is you or them just yet, but it looks like someone is neither fully open to communication nor fully closed to the communication. So it just feels like they're just there, just existing, okay? So Spirit, in terms of the person of interest, the one that they're thinking of, group 1's person of interest, why are they being silent towards group 1? Please, Spirit. I'm immediately getting the impression that they don't necessarily want to be silent towards you, or either they're not doing it on purpose, that is not their intention. Maybe there was no kind of falling out. I'm not sure if they actually said, like, I don't want to talk to you anymore, or it's just more like things kind of faded away. But I'm really not getting this impression that this person is actively blocking you or defensive towards you or putting up a wall of any kind. If anything, it feels a bit open and even kind of friendly, depending. So it looks to me, group 1, as if the answer of why are they silent, it could just be a product of the situation itself. Maybe they don't have an actual way to communicate with you if that's the circumstance. Like maybe they don't have some of you, it could be that they don't have your contact information. Others of you, it could be just, again, simply situational, where maybe they were waiting for an opportunity, perhaps to see you around in person, at work, or, just around wherever you would normally see them, and then that just didn't happen. This is really, again, I don't feel intentional or deliberate. I just think that this person is kind of going with the flow a little bit. So what else do we need to know, please? Why are they? And if that does not resonate, by the way, at all, it may not be the group for you or even the right time to watch the video, because this is what I am feeling. Now, if a long period of time has passed, depending on what's going on, Now, there is a chance that this person has changed their mind. Maybe initially it was something more. It could have been like this deliberate, okay, I don't want to see you anymore. I don't want to talk to you anymore, depending on like what side that was coming from. At this point in time, group one, it feels like if that happened, that this person's energy has mellowed. They just seem like they're just chilling, kind of doing their thing, trying to just live their own lives and do whatever they have to do. Kind of standard energy, really. Spirit, why are they silent, please? What's going on with group one's person of interest? What do they need to know about why they're silent towards them? Now here's where we're getting into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty here. So we have the moon energy here. This is showing, I would say, a significant amount of uncertainty. And I would say included within this uncertainty is a little bit of confusion as well. Maybe only some of you, this person does have some types of fears regarding communication or some event or circumstance that would come as a result of this. So for example, let's say that you had to talk to the person and make a decision about something. They didn't want to face what was next, but that's not for everybody. So with the moon card, it's again, essentially showing that there's two people who are not totally cut off from each other, although it can feel like that because it does show this type of rift. It does show this type of, I guess, shadow energy, a little bit of dimness here, like what's really going on, a lack of proper illumination of the situation. So maybe they also are just a bit, what's the word? I guess it's kind of like they just don't like confrontation. I can't think of the word right now, but they kind of sound like standoffish or whatever. Yeah, so they just may not be good at this direct type of communication or even problem-solving skills. I'm starting to feel like just even now this wishy-washy energy from this person. And I'm wondering, it could be, well, I don't usually bother with zodiac signs, but it did kind of feel, at first it felt watery, but then I'm noticing the star card, although there's water there, this is technically an Aquarius. So I'm not sure. I've heard Aquarians say that about themselves, that it kind of tends to be a bit like up in the air. I don't know if that's actually the case. No offense to Aquarians, but so yeah, that's this particular person. I just feel that they have like 1 foot out the door, 1 foot in. They're really confusing, I think. Now this is where I think their emotional state is coming through. So then what does this have to do with group one, and why are they silent towards group one specifically, please? Thank you. Okay, so this is very situation specific, so please take what resonates here, because we are seeing some context where I feel that this King of Wands is your energy, or at least how maybe they perceive your energy. It does look like someone here has tried to communicate. I think only for some of you. There is a chance that at one point there was a problem with communication coming through and reaching them. Notice how there is this communication card trying to come through, but it's not physically reaching the Queen of Cups. I don't think that's for everyone. I do think that maybe 80% of you, like, they did receive it, and maybe they just didn't bother to answer. Maybe you caught them at a bad time, but 20% of you, or like maybe even a little bit less, it just seems that there was a problem. So now I would say that that's very likely if you did happen to reach out to them during a Mercury retrograde. If not, it could have just been, again, any other kind of circumstantial thing. And like I said, this person, if you happen to catch them and try to reach out to them at a time where they just really weren't fully focused, they may have just left it there. You know, they may, like, I'm sincerely feeling it's not deliberate, but at the same time, I'm not excusing them. I do think that they should have tried. I think that they should have, paid more attention, because I can see how this obviously can come off as very rude or whatever, but I'm really not getting like a malicious thing, except for maybe some of you where that was an obvious part of your connection with this person. But for the most part, like, around 90-ish% of you, I just think that this person lacks certain abilities or structure maybe in their energy just like as who they are as a person, perhaps. And it just didn't occur to them. Maybe it could be here with the Page of Wands. Maybe they're a bit immature for their age or something like that. Maybe they are spiritually young soul type of a thing. And again, depending on the situation itself, let's say that you know that this person has some malice within them. Obviously, that's going to be an important part of this. If that is the case, if you know about that already, because you've seen it, that would be where this is relevant only. I do think that in that case, they could be acting in an immature manner, and they're just like, like, meh, I don't want to do it. Like, kind of like that, a little bit of a tantrum, but only for those of you where you know that that's what this person is like towards you because they've already done this. Now, adding to all of this, I really didn't see how complicated and how complex this was when I first drew these cards, but everything is coming out here. So this King of Wands, if this is you, it does feel a little bit angry, or at least maybe resentful, a little bitter, whatever it was, okay? I don't know what the reason is, because it could have been because of something they directly did. It could be how you're feeling now. It could be the, after everything, it could be because of the situation. So whatever the case is, I feel that because you guys do seem to have an energetic or spiritual tie, or at least interaction going on right now, your energy, I'm not trying to suggest that you're scaring them away or anything, but energetically speaking now, that's kind of what is naturally happening. I do believe that energy is very real in every single thing that we do and think and everything, right? So if you are giving off an energy that's a bit fiery and kind of just a bit too direct for them, I think that they are feeling that, they are sensing that on some level, and they are naturally responding to that. So that it would stand to reason that if you sort of quell that energy, you calm it a bit and maybe, just cool it down a bit from whatever it was, there is a chance that they're going to suddenly turn towards you and either contact you or feel inclined to answer if you contact them with that newer energy. Because I have seen this happen plenty of times. It is just how I am observing that energy works. So keep it in mind. We all do a dance with each other with energy at the end of the day. Now, again, some of you, depending on this person, if you know them, if you know their personality type, a few number of you, it might just be like, I don't want to be mean, but like the word airhead did come up. So like if some of you are observing that this person, again, just is really not one to pay full attention, if they just kind of are in, their head is in the clouds kind of a thing, that is another part of it as well. So it's a mixture of all of these things. I hope I'm getting this right. Let me know below, please, in the comments. Spirit, any other messages? Why are they silent? Their person of interest. So again, I do think that this is kind of talking about maybe the last communication that you did have. I got just one hit for some of you guys. This is not for everyone, but they did say something about the last communication being something like unsatisfactory. So perhaps something was not resolved. Perhaps they wanted more of the situation or even more of you and the efforts and stuff like that. I am feeling from the last interaction, or maybe one of the last ones, that they did have a bit of defensiveness, again, because of perhaps their persona, just who they are as a person. A little bit of that defensiveness, because I do kind of see that sunflower as they're holding it up to block you a little bit. So I'm really intrigued. I'm interested to know what kind of connection this was, because it just seems that this is very close. Like, if this feels like you guys really do have a close spiritual bond. I mean, even with everything that we're seeing here, it just feels like almost like you know each other a little too well, or you're connected a little too much. And so that's why we have this sort of delicate interaction going on here. Because this would not even be a thing if it was more of like strangers or people who were not spiritually connected, regardless of the actual relationship you have to this person. It's starting to feel kind of like, I guess it kind of feels similar, if I'm talking in 3D terms, it is a little similar to like siblings, where it's like, I guess it's almost like a love-hate relationship, that's kind of what I'm picking up on, that it's very complex. Alrighty, is there anything else that group number 1 needs to know about, just with this whole thing and how they can sort of understand it, or, I don't know, like, I just want to have a little more clarity. And then we get a card that's more confusion. So with the 7 of Cups, yeah, there's just a lot going on. One more time, I'm getting a message for at least some of you that the connection, or rather the communication, was disrupted. I was going to say distorted, so that could be a little bit relevant there. Okay, so again, you know, that's not for every single person here, because, for example, some of you, it won't even resonate because you knew that they received it, like whether it was like you actually called them and you actually spoke to them, maybe it was in person. But others of you, if it was some other form of messaging or, you know, whatever, I think at least just one time for some of you, they literally just did not receive it because something disrupted the communication. They keep saying something about that. So it also could maybe suggest that there was a miscommunication, misinterpretation too along the way, which I think is quite likely. Just the way that at least once this person perceived or received your communication as something else because of a little bit of that defensiveness. So they really may have misconstrued what you said at least one part. It could have been more than that. But yeah, so like, for example, I don't know, it could have been something like you were trying to, I don't know, like maybe you were trying to help them, or you were just trying to say something else, and then it just really got tangled up and confused. And then it just resulted in this impulsive turning away. Okay, so is there any final advice, messages, or guidance, and anything? Holy, sorry, just like a whole chunk fell, and it was like teetering off the edge of the table. My goodness, I've lost some cards in this store behind the heater. I had to tape it because I've lost a few. Anyway, is there any other final messages, advice, or guidance? Well, I feel like this is the same thing as the first card, is that there is this open door, kind of. You see, it's the same exact energy. It's there, it's hesitating, one foot in, one foot out. It's the same exact thing. So whether or not you want to say anything next is going to be entirely up to you, because it's really hard to say. I don't really think that anybody can definitively tell us what's right. I mean, our intuition is going to be the best thing. So maybe just work with your guides and say, if it is right, if it is time to say something, please give me some clarity or courage or action, whatever. And this, another thing about this person is we can't guarantee if they will respond. But I do think that if the stars align, if it is the right time and you catch them at the right time, they will respond. Again, they're not, for a good 90% of you or so, I don't think they're actively trying to turn their back. So one more time, if that's not the case, if you know that this person is actively trying to turn away from you, then unfortunately, that's a different story. That's a different reading. May want to do a personal reading for that one. But anyway, Spirit, any other final messages, advice, guidance for group number 1? Thank you. I mean, they're just letting you know to just keep doing your thing. I think you're doing the right things just by continuing forward, again, following your intuition. And that's pretty much it. I wish that there was a little bit more to say here, but it is to be continued depending, all right? Some of you are better off just kind of turning away if you know that you're just kind of done here. But that is, again, up to you guys and the specific situation you're in. All right, so yes, group 1. Please do let me know if this resonated. I love these types of connection readings. It's just obviously hard for me to tell if I got it right. But yeah, you can let me know below. And if you are new here and you enjoyed this, please feel free to subscribe. It will really help out my channel. And if you guys want that personal reading, it's below. It's calendly.com/fireflytarot. The link is below. Thank you once again, and sending you many blessings, okay? And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, this is the reading for those of you who chose group number 2, which is malachite. So again, please have your person in mind for this, just to have clear messages come through. Spirit, this reading is for group number 2, malachite, please and thank you, and their person of interest. And why are they silent? Spirit, do you have a starting message, please, for our group number 2, malachite? Just any starting message at all to ground the reading, see what's going on. Ooh, okay. So we have the 9 of Cups. And then the 4 of Cups. Very interesting contrast here. Okay. So as you guys can see, we have the same exact kind of body language here, but pretty opposite meanings, at least traditionally speaking. So I gather from this, and I don't know if this is right just yet, but kind of looks like someone is putting on this face of like contentment, maybe happiness or whatever, but then on the inside they're actually not like that at all. They're kind of being stubborn, holding things in, and just really unwilling in some way. So that's what I took from this, just because of the context here. But let's see if I'm right. Let's I don't know. So that was just a starting message. Spirit, in terms of their person of interest that they're thinking of for this, can you please let us know, why are they silent towards our group number 2, malachite? Why is their person of interest silent towards them? What is happening here in this connection? Okay. With the Strength card, this really felt to me like those vibes of people who are trying to be strong by not contacting the other person. So I would hear about this in a context of a love reading, but obviously this could be any type of reading, but it still feels like, okay, be strong, don't talk to that person. So I'm not sure if that's the case here, but let's see what else. Spirit, what else can we know, please? Why are they silent? Their person of interest, why are they silent towards group 2? Well, another reason they could be silent is because they're just so indecisive. Whether it's just something emotional or something with the actual context itself. If it is context, this would be similar. Like, for example, if there was an agreement to not speak to each other, they're like, should I not? If that wasn't the case, they just feel emotionally quite imbalanced when it comes to you or reaching out. Okay, so what else, please? Why are they silent? It really still feels like there is this reason. There's this wall that is up, and it's a very obvious wall. Whether it was the wall that they put up or that you put up. And I'm still feeling a lot of pull, or push, I should say, from the situation, from the context of what's going on. Hold on. Okay, group 2, I do have to share with you what just happened. I only paused for a second, but I thought my store phone was ringing because it sounded just like the tone. Turns out it wasn't my phone. So that was weird. That I find very strange, because it would be one thing if it rang, that's normal, but it was ringing and it wasn't even my phone. So it really feels like this person truly is indecisive. It's like, here's the communication, but nope, it's not actually there. So I think a lot of you also may have had other types of communication psychically, because this emotionally is very strong. And because of the connection that you have, it does seem like this person is able to easily sort of cut through the energies and reach you somewhere else. Okay. So what about here and now? Why are they silent, please? Their person of interest. Why are they silent towards group 2? Again, I feel like they're not actually being silent energetically speaking. It's not that they really fully want to be, okay? Again, the energy is strong. It's as if you never stopped talking and they're kind of just looking right at you and speaking to you in some other plane. Or at least there's this offering to, it's like a friendly offering in some way, but that doesn't answer the question, right? So let's see. Why are they silent? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. I think I need to look into the situation a little bit because that's still telling me the same thing. This King of Wands is still half and half, and they're looking at you or thinking of you from a distance with this. It's not exactly like a grudge energy, but there is a reason that they're feeling this way, right? So maybe just think on the last communication that you did have, or the last few, because it could have been like this ongoing conflict that you guys had with each other. Definitely I feel conflict energy, or at least from their end. What do we need to know, please? Why are they silent? What actually happened from their perspective? Oh, sheesh. You see this? It's the same exact thing that they're doing over and over again. Four of Swords is like no, and then Ace of Swords is yes. Page of Swords is in my mind. Okay, Spirit, can I have a definitive reason as to why they are 1 foot towards no and 1 foot towards silent? What's the reason and the context for this? Okay, well, this makes sense because maybe you guys made an agreement to move on. I mean, and that could be for any kind of connection because maybe somebody just kind of was fed up with something and spoke their boundary. They placed their boundary where they tried to assert it, and that was it, right? Now, others of you, it could be more literal where this person traveled or they left or something like that. But I think that this is a little bit more emotional. And that is why that's the reason. I mean, so I think that going into this reading, you probably were aware of that, right? So maybe you just wanted a little bit more detail, but it really is that simple. It's just that was the situation in itself, that it was done. Now, obviously, that one may resonate a little bit more if it's a love reading and there was a breakup. If it was a friendship or a family thing, that is not so like black and white, because that would suggest that there was a lot of stuff leading up to this. You don't just cut off a person and break up with a family member or a friend, right? There had to have been a reason. So yeah, it is implying, I think, that there was multiple occasions where someone felt, I don't know, just as one example, someone might have felt disrespected. Someone might have felt, I don't know, neglected or ignored or something. Anything else that I can figure about this situation and why are they silent? Yeah. So here with the Two of Swords, it's unclear if this is you or them, but it's the same exact thing. Someone here is wanting to block off the other. With the two cards that we had as the starting message, I'm still seeing that there is something here that really needs to be resolved just for purposes of clarity. I think that there's two differing sides to this, truly, right? So, yeah. I don't know who's right or wrong. Maybe there is no right or wrong, but it just seems that there's two sides of the same coin, and there really is this lack of coming to the same page or any type of agreement at all. Can we have a little bit more information as to why are they silent? They're a person of interest. Yeah, again, similar to Six of Swords, how it's sort of obvious. This is another, to me, bit of an obvious card. We have the Five of Swords. Again, there was a conflict. There was either a disagreement. There was some pettiness, maybe, coming from someone. There was, when I see this card, I often look at the water, and it looks a bit contaminated. So maybe there was, again, like a misinterpretation. With this card also being sort of like that petty battle card, maybe someone... in a sense, like won, quote unquote, right? Kind of like, it seems like someone wanted to just win over on the other and kind of like put the other person at a disadvantage. Like, it could have been so many things, but let me see what else. Okay, what else do we need to know moving forward here? It does seem that at least as we move forward, the energy is potentially shifting, or it can potentially shift. But anything else final about why are they silent here and now? They're a person of interest. Okay, we have Six of Cups, Seven of Cups. I feel like with the Six of Cups, again, I feel like they still care about you. I feel like they still are psychically communicating with you. I feel like there is a part of them that is entertaining that that timeline where you guys are still speaking. So that's why I'm still feeling that for a lot of you it could continue. But if you're watching this and you don't want to talk to this person, then you can just disregard that. You probably have your reasons, but at the same time, I still feel that the energy is not resolved. So you could still work through this energetically. Maybe you need to have a conversation with them psychically. Maybe you need to write a letter to them and not send it. There's many ways that we can resolve energy, but I guess it's up to the individual and your intuition and your guidance, right? And that being said, you are going to have guidance on this very soon, within the next 3 days. I don't even think it's 3 weeks. I think it's within the next 3 days for many of you. For like 98% of you, I think it's going to be that. And you will have a little bit more information by the end of those 3 days from whenever you're watching this, okay? That's pretty much it. I'm not getting any new information. It just seems that this is what happened, unfortunately. And if you do feel like some of this resonated and you want to clear the air, I do feel that this person would be at least open to hearing whatever you're saying. I'm not guaranteeing that they'll respond, but it does seem like they would actually want to receive this information. They seem like they like information. Maybe they're very logical. Maybe they like to just have all the cards out, sort of a person. And for that reason, they would appreciate it. They also would appreciate your effort and say like, okay, oh, they reached out. They wanted to at least clear the air. They would appreciate that. And just absorb that. Any final messages, advice, or guidance? This is truly group 2. This is completely up to you. I feel like you are, if you want to take action, you will be supported by your guides, because it is up to you. They can kind of nudge you and sway you and whatever, but obviously we all have free will, so just look out for that. See what you feel. At least give yourself a few more days, see how you feel, and then we can figure it out. And some of you might even want to manifest some sort of an ending, or not an ending, but I meant to say an outcome. This is still a little bit up and down. So that's totally a different topic and a different reading, but that's what I'm saying just for now. So I thought I would get a little bit more of an explanation, but it does seem that this is simpler than I thought. So group 2, I guess that's it. If I got it right or wrong, just let me know what resonated. But yeah, if you would like a personal reading instead, to check up on this, the info is below. It's calendly.com/fireflytarot. But thank you guys so much. And if you're new here, please feel free to subscribe. It'll really help my channel. And thank you once again, everyone. And I will see you next time, okay? Blessings. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, this is the reading for those of you who chose group number 3, which is the cinnabrite. So again, as I mentioned in the intro, just have clearly in mind your person of interest. And let's see, Spirit, this reading is for group 3. Please and thank you, group 3 cinnabrite and their person of interest. And why are they silent? Spirit, if you can give us some clarity, just a starting message. What does group 3 need to hear first, just as a starting message for this reading, and their person of interest, and why are they silent? Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. What's going on here? Already I'm wondering if there's another person involved with this besides you and your person of interest. That could be the case for some of you, not all of you. I will look into this fully, but this gives me the impression that there was someone else involved that could have either influenced or just been a part of this whole thing in terms of that person's decision. Yeah, so someone here, actually at this point, the roles could be reversed. So someone here did separate themselves here with the 9 of Pentacles. And someone made that conscious decision to do so. Perhaps they were thinking that it was better off for them this way. So I'm going to look into this. But yeah, I'm just really wondering here about the 3 of Pentacles. But let's see. Let's get more info. Spirit, as far as their person of interest and just their perspectives, why are they silent towards group number 3, please? Group number 3's person of interest. Why are they silent? This is showing me a bit of ignoring, which is pretty cold with that strength card, which is a weird thing to see from the strength card because that's not usually the energy at all. But the strength card, as I'm seeing it now, her eyes are completely shut. At least that's what it looks like from this energy. Her eyes are completely shut and she's trying to busy herself doing other things. She's just like, no, 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 I'm too busy for this and whatever, whatever. And any communication is completely falling on deaf ears. But my question, Spirit, is why? Why are they doing this? Why are they silent? Now, group 3, you got it again. 3 of Pentacles. Without even having drawn this card, I wanted to say, this is the type of coldness to me that only exists because of anger. Okay, so I don't know what happened here, but this person really does feel like either maybe they first were snubbed or I don't know exactly what, but now they are the ones who are putting the cold shoulder up, okay? Because that type of coldness, like I said, it does not exist unless they're mad about something. So whether it was anger or bitterness or resentment or whatever, that emotion is very specific. That's what I'm saying. Like they really would not be acting this way unless they had a defined reason, at least in their minds. Like, no, I'm gonna put up that wall. I'm gonna put up this barrier for this person. So here with the 3 of Pentacles, I mean, for some of you, obviously, this could be simpler, like maybe you worked with the person and maybe there was like a group mentality or whatever. Spirit, what's going on here? Can you tell us what's going on with the 3 of Pentacles and what this actually is? Maybe it's the case where someone was really trying to have an advantage, perhaps, for some of you, maybe not all of you. And that's sort of what contributed to this whole entire bigger picture. Someone was trying to win the situation or maybe have some type of success or pride or like notoriety in some way, and it just all snowballed together. Spirit, what about group 3's person of interest? Why are they silent towards group 3 currently? Thank you. It's the same exact feeling. You see? Look, you see the angry vibes, or at least like cold and bitter vibes, and they're looking away from you purposely. All right, so if you will let me into this energy, person of interest of group 3, what is your perspective on what happened, please? What is your perspective? What did they do or say or whatever that made you feel this way? I've never seen this level of defensiveness. This is quite strong. They're not really letting anyone in. So I'm going to have to figure how I can get around this. They're putting up a huge wall. Look at this, the way that they're encasing themselves within the World card, and they're just running and running and running away. Oh my goodness. Okay. Spirit, little help, please. Like, what is this? What happened here? Moving backward in time, what happened here that led this person to feel this way? At least what do they think happened that group 3 might have done? Or there could have been an angry outburst in some way. Maybe for a lot of you, this is kind of self-explanatory if there was a really big blowout or blow up, whatever. So that could be a possibility. So there's that. I kind of doubt there's any other connotation of that card, because sometimes that could mean something more sexual, but of course for some of you that could be, not to be weird, but like, because I know this is not a love reading. But anyway, so yeah, it looks like this was a passionate, angry blow up in some case. So in some way, and again, if that's what happened, if you know and you lived through it, that's what happened, then there goes your answer. They were pissed. Okay, sorry to use that word, but yeah, like whatever it was, they were pissed. Again, this is from their perspective. Maybe there was something that happened that disrupted more than just you guys. Maybe there was some thing that was thrown out of whack and out of balance, whether it was something within the home or again at work or a relationship or a friendship. It does seem like there was someone else involved here, which we did kind of see already with the 3 of Pentacles twice. All right. Now, I have no idea if there was some other like malicious intent from somebody else. I mean, if there was, I'm sure you already know about it, but that's not really what I'm looking at here, at least not yet. Okay, so what else do we need to know about what actually happened or their perception of it? Why are they silent, please? And thank you. Well, two things came up here. One is simple. Maybe they didn't get what they want. Now, the second one is a little more complicated. It could be that they were actually sad, like true sadness, sorrow, or whatever from what happened. So it could have been so many complicated things. From their perspective now, they could have felt that they were left out in the cold or were either ignored or, again, snubbed or left at a disadvantage in some way. And they're like, okay, this is the result. This is what happened. This person clearly doesn't care about me. The other person doesn't care about me. And they left me to feel this way. From their perspective, this could be how it went down. Like that's how they may have interpreted this. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. But yeah, so if it was the first option and they didn't get what they want, then clearly that could be a result of if they lack emotional maturity. But for the rest of you, if you feel like it's more complicated than that, then this is how they perceive the entire situation. What else, please? What do we need to know here? Now, another thing that I'm kind of picking up on in a very subtle way is that they really do feel that they were not heard. Again, I'm only going off of this sort of trigger that they're, it's like a, I don't want to exactly call it a trauma response, but it's similar because like if a person shuts down, it's because there was a deeper wound that was there already. Okay, so really getting into the nitty gritty here. What else, please? What do we need to know about Group 3's person of interest? Why are they silent at anything that happened here? All the cards are here, by the way, because when I look into the past, they tend to veer towards the left. So if you're wondering why I'm not using this space. Yeah, so Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords could be any number of things. Either it was something that directly was said to them, right? Or it was just anything in the conversation itself that came up. The actual facts of the situation itself, knowledge of the situation itself. I feel like there was a lot going into this thing. I don't know what this discussion was about or argument. This could have been something really big where it had to do with like a lot of important decisions that needed to be made about the future, about something important of either the family, the context, whatever. If that's not the case, if it was something smaller, I would be very surprised actually, because this does not seem like it would warrant such a response. I think that this was something really big, okay? If for some reason that wasn't the case, then that would be kind of odd. So let's see, anything else? I don't know if for some of you it was literally something legal, and that makes sense. I know that's not for everyone, but it would make sense because, for example, there was money involved or some type of inheritance or property or whatever. Others of you, I kind of doubt this is like a divorce reading, but like any kind of legal whatever matters could have been involved. And if it wasn't legal per se, it could have been justice and fairness, right? Another piece of it, this person most likely, because I'm inferring a lot here, because they're not talking to me. They're not saying anything to me, okay? Interesting how it works, right? But I am inferring here that this person did feel like they were treated unfairly, or at least the situation was unfair in itself by default or whatever it was that happened. Okay. Anything else that we need to know for group number 3, Cinnabrite? Why are they silent? Again, we have a bit of an obvious card here. We have the 5 of Wands. There was a lot of disagreements, conflict, maybe hot-headedness, or at least a heated argument in some way. This card, though, it's not just about people fighting. This is about people who are really not on the same page. They're essentially speaking different languages. They need an emotional interpreter in some way, and it's just, there was a lot of noise, okay? There was a lot of confusion and conflict all around. Anything else? 4 of Swords. So now maybe this is just where the noise finally calmed a bit, and now it is what it is in the present. So is there any advice that we need to know about? Anything maybe even towards the future? Just any other final messages for group 3 to understand what's going on? Yeah, it's really rough. So, I mean, it looks calmer, but obviously there's so much pent-up energy here that I don't really trust it. It's a bit volatile, in fact, but at least it appears like it's calmer. It appears that somebody is just sort of there, you know, just doing their thing. And by now, this earthy energy does feel like it's almost compacted, kind of like all of that, like, what do you call, all of that fiery emotional energy. It hasn't been released. It hasn't been resolved. It hasn't been cleansed. It kind of just is now hardened, actually. And that kind of sucks because that's going to cause a blockage for everyone involved, whoever kind of received that energy. And you guys probably already know how that feels. Spiritual, emotional, you know, energetic blockages, that's what it feels like to me. It's like hardened over a long period of time, and it just, that's how it happens. And it really sucks because it messes up our health. Okay, so take that into consideration, please. If you want to do some, on your end, some chakra unblocking, please look into that. I do have a video where I explain some intro stuff. It's below if you want to check out what I have to say about it. But there are really good articles, books, YouTube videos of how to unblock chakras, which I do think is very necessary right now for you. And then maybe it starts something else. Spirit, any other final messages of advice or guidance? If you guys were wondering, should I reach out to this person? Are they going to answer? Truly, I will say that that's a different reading and a different topic entirely. I don't know if I've done it before. I guess if you guys request it, I can certainly do that. But there's one thing that I want to say to you guys. Oh, and the Three of Cups is kind of just giving me the same vibes as the Three of Pentacles, that there's a lot more people involved. There's a lot more, not at stake, but involved here. Okay, one quick thing before I close the reading. The future, in many ways, may not be set in stone at all, right? I mean, in a lot of cases. So if you choose to do something, if you set an intention today to do something, or if today or even in the close future you take action, you're going to create an energy stream forward where I can predict what's going to happen maybe. If you are wishy-washy, if you are still undecided, if it's hypothetical, I can't really predict anything. Some people can, but I can't, okay? So if you want that future reading for this and you're like, yeah, I know what I want to do, let me know below and I can do another pick a card. If anything, obviously you guys can also do a personal reading and the link is below. It's calendly.com/fireflytarot. But group 3, this was a tough one. So I think I'll just leave it there. But I do hope that this was helpful, okay? Let me know below. I hope that your situation improves. Just, you know, give me some feedback if anything. But thank you so very much. And if you are new here, please feel free to subscribe. It really helps out my channel. And thank you guys once again, and sending you many blessings. And I will see you next time, okay? Take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, this is the reading for those of you who chose group number 4, which is the iolite. So let's take a look. Again, have your person in mind for the best clarity of messages here. Spirit, this reading is for group number 4. Please and thank you, iolite, and their person of interest and why they're silent at this current time. Please and thank you. Spirit, do you have a starting message for group number 4? Just anything at all that they need to know about this reading, about these messages. Thank you. Okay. Oh my. A lot of beautiful spiritual energy going on here, and most likely also some shifts too. That Judgment card is really feeling like there is going to be at least some movement, perhaps signs, synchronicities, if it hasn't happened already. I did do a pick a card recently. I forget exactly when, but this was like within the last, whatever, like week, about what major sign will you receive. Some of you, if you've seen that already, then you'll know it has come through or it will come through. If not, you can watch that. It's very recent. So I will get into why are they silent, but this message was actually something different. It shows that there could very well be a shift in the near future. However, I do want to preface this by saying that, like, I totally see you guys' comments. Some of you don't actually want some type of continuation of the connection. Then please disregard anything about the future. If you want to end something, that's up to you, free will. But it does look like there's some nice shifting and loving energy coming through so far. Alrighty. Okay, so now let's take a look at why are they silent Spirit, can you let us know for their group 4's person of interest, our iolite group? Their person of interest, why are they silent towards group 4? Please and thank you. This feels like a very long-term energy. Like, it reminds me of that Snow White line. Was it Snow White that they said the sleeping dead or something like that? It feels like this has been going on for a very long time. If that doesn't resonate, it might feel like a very long time, where at this point it's just sleeping. It's just like it's going on and on and on. So whether it was because it's been a long time, or maybe it's even just an oddly peaceful energy, it's almost like a break, like rest. So although this doesn't answer the question yet, what I'm seeing is that I do think on some spiritual level that you guys did need some sort of a break from each other's energies and a pause, okay? So let's see what else. It's almost like someone here is just used to it. Spirit, what do we need to know? Their person of interest, why are they silent towards group 4? Thank you. There's been a lot of, I think, subconscious activity here. Definitely. So I can already tell that this person is, or the reading is kind of beating around the bush a little bit, so please bear with me here. It might take a minute to get the answer. But there is a lot of subconscious activity, kind of like astral travel, dreams, telepathy, whatever, like even the strangest things. Okay, I did not say this to the collective. And I didn't say it to group 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to say it to you guys. I don't know if you noticed that my hands are kind of beat up, but I think that the hands and the arms are supposed to be connected to the heart chakra. And I swear to you guys, you being group 4, you'll understand. I do think that I received or have been receiving some weird physical communication through that chakra from someone. I don't know if I'm just crazy, but that's another example of what I'm talking about, because there's no reason it should be like this repeated thing. And it's out of the ordinary, where it's not just, it like keeps going. And I just this morning got another accidental, quote unquote, like scratch on my arm. And I'm like, what is happening here? So this has been months. I've been dealing with this and it's not healing. And I'm like, what the heck? And it keeps adding to it. If you guys are experiencing something kind of just out of the ordinary like that, when it comes to, so like my example is like something physical, or of course something, it could be emotional or in other ways in your environment too, like these little disruptions, and you're like, what is happening? I feel that it is this person of interest. And if you don't feel like that resonates, that's fine. But some of you, please let me know if that does resonate with you, because this is just bizarre at this point. A lot of subconscious stuff coming through. I am going to have to look into the past here to see what was the original reason. But I mean, the present reasoning is still valid. Like, they are silent now, right? So what is the reason for that, Spirit? Can we know that yet? Or they have probably a lot more to say. Okay, what else? Why are they silent, Spirit? Okay. So here, at least I can start to figure this out. We have two people who are kind of similar in their vibration. Mainly I'm feeling because of the fire energy, okay? So we have one person who's looking this way, a little bit more mellow, kind of looking towards the future. Then we have one person looking towards the past who is not as mellow. The Emperor card is looking like someone who is a bit, looks a bit stern and stubborn, but I don't want to use the word stubborn. It's more like they are almost authoritative. They have a bit of the controlling flair to them. So let's say that something happened. It could have even just been, like, it could have been any number of things that just ended up happening. Somewhere in their mind, they decided that it's done, the communication is done, or even the connection is done. And they really stuck with that. They took it and they ran with it, and they stuck with it in a kind of, depending on the day, a stubborn, prideful, or controlled way, right? They really just, that was it. I don't know what it was. Like, I think that's a defense mechanism, actually, where they just kind of decided it, and then that was it. They didn't really think about it. They should have. I mean, they should have tried to understand more of this, because there's a lot more going on here that meets the surface. but they didn't. Maybe this was just part of their own spiritual path and journey. So that's what's going on here. I'll get a little bit more for you guys. Now here with the Queen of Wands, perhaps whoever this is, because the roles could be reversed, this Queen of Wands does look, again, a little bit softer in energy, although there is a lot of strength coming from this person. Kind of like, you know, like I am empowered kind of energy. I know my worth kind of energy. So if there was, let's say, a crossing of boundary or a disrespect, this Queen of Wands energy did not accept that. They didn't take that. But they're still kind of open to things, and more open than the Emperor, at least. Spirit, can we say moving backward? Why are they silent? What happened here? The group 4's person of interest. What happened here? Why are they silent towards group 4? Again, we do have stubbornness, but now, even though they're trying their best to hide this, they're trying their best to hide themselves. Now I'm starting to see them in a sort of like transparent way. This, I'm not trying to sound mean, but it's like a weakness. It feels like a weak spot for them, because it's exactly the same energy, but now it's sort of like as they doubled down here, they kind of showed their hand in a way, and it's showing that it's almost like they had no other choice emotionally but to hold on to that decision, to cut out the communication or cut out the connection, because they just felt so weak within themselves. They felt so scared within themselves. And they're like, I can't think of anything else to do except this. Okay, so with this 4 of Pentacles, I felt pretty much like their inner child energy or a young-minded type of energy. Maybe they're used to dealing with conflicts like this. Maybe they're used to cutting people out, and that would make sense. And pretty much I just feel like they ran, you know? They just chose to run. Okay, well, what happened? Is there anything I can know about what happened? And of course, I see someone outside of my store running past the freak. That keeps happening with you guys. And I don't really see people running that often, so the fact that it happened now was interesting to me. Yeah, a man literally was running to the left. And he didn't look like he was jogging. He was not trying to exercise. He was going somewhere. I don't know. Okay. We have here the Ten of Swords. Well, I mean, spiritually speaking, destiny-wise speaking, there could have been a higher level reason for this coming to an end when it needed to come to an end. I forget what I said to you first, but I think I mentioned something that alluded to that where, I mean, maybe I did. It seems like there was a higher level reason for this, okay? So group 4, it's not just that this person decided it. I mean, that is a big part of it because of free will. But I do think that in the grand scheme of this connection, your guides and the divine and both of you guys' higher selves were in agreement about this. Oh, I remember. I said that there needed to be space. That's what I was talking about. So for all of these reasons, and you put it all together, that's what we're left with, is that I do think that this was meant to break at that point or to pause or whatever it was. This needed to happen, okay? So whether it was that it just was necessary for your growth or their growth, or there was a bigger reason behind it, and it's always going to be mysterious. It's always going to be frustrating too until we understand why, but that kind of comes later. Maybe you already know why. Spirit, is there anything else we need to know here before we continue? So with the Six of Swords, it is clear that there was this obvious type of separation, walking away. It may not have been a mutually agreed upon thing that was spoken, but it could have just been obvious that we're walking away here, right? Anything else that we need to know about their person of interest perspective and like back then what happened? Why are they silent? Some of you, maybe there was some type of third party disruption, whether it was their side or your side, or it could have been this could have been relevant even later on. Maybe it was always a problem, in fact. What else, please? But you know, with this card, sometimes it could also be that it's almost an excuse. You know, maybe if they couldn't handle things, they hid behind another person, perhaps. Okay, again, we have more defensiveness here. And here I'm really feeling the impulse. It could have been one or both of you that acted impulsively at any point in time, and just maybe there was something that was said that the other person regretted, or something that they did that they ended up regretting, but it really is impulsive. Okay, so anything else about now, and why are they silent currently? Because it's a different thing, okay? I mean, it can be at least. I just think, like I said, some of you, maybe 80% of you or so, this person is used to it, and they're just like, yeah, this is just what it is now. Let's see. Why are they silent currently? Please. This is a little bit of a subtle message, but I am wondering if this person feels beneath you in some way, because the Emperor card is lower, and they're trying not to see the fact that you're kind of like more advanced than them. I don't know if they feel that way. I don't know if that resonates for some of you. So the reason why they're silent now, I feel, is that this, for the time being, similar to what we already talked about, is that it needs to be this way, spiritually speaking. Your guides have been a big part of this whole thing, okay? Yes, the free will is there, as it always is, but I feel that your guides have been kind of orchestrating some stuff for you in the background. Now this is me kind of assuming that you guys will eventually have contact again, although I don't know for sure. Again, if that doesn't resonate, if you don't want to talk to this person, by all means, you don't have to. But what I will say is, like, another part of this puzzle is that your guides may have, not to say that they instructed them to not talk to you, but whatever is happening here is a little bit more than just one singular person's decision. I think that this is part of a whole wheel, right, that's being orchestrated. Some people could have different opinions on that. That's fine. But I'm just saying that there has been some other influence involved that has been highly spiritual. Again, that word orchestrated comes to my mind, like something's being crafted. And you can observe that from your end too, because maybe there were some days where you felt called to reach out or called to pull back. And so you'll see what I mean. That I do think that for sure your guides have been involved with that. Okay. Anything else that we need to know? Why are they silent currently, or just anything else? You know, there are these moments, I think, that this person randomly, completely spontaneously feels warmth towards you, or they feel your warmth if you're sending it to them. That's just a random message that came through there. And as far as another reason why they're not currently, or why they are currently silent, some of you, it could be that this person is ending some sort of a cycle, okay? They're finishing up a cycle. They're completing a cycle of their spiritual development, their lives, some important chapter, something like that. And that could add to this as well. Okay, any final messages or any other messages, advice, or guidance for our group number 4, iolite, in this connection, and why they are silent? Thank you. I was also wondering, this is sort of an obvious thing, but some of you, it could be that they're silent because you are also silent, but I kind of don't really think that's going to resonate for many people, but that's more like situational. Here with the Knight of Cups, let's see. Oh, okay. So we have Knight of Cups and the Devil. So what I am seeing here, group 4, is that someone here, could even be both of you, is still dealing with quite a bit of fear, or some really dark, imbalanced energy too. And the reason that's relevant is because it will further block a person. So for example, if this person has a blockage within their heart chakra, or if they have their own issues with, could be like negative thought patterns, or even like addictions for some of you, or some other darker type of or negative energy. And that also could apply to you too. If you feel like you sort of mirror each other at times, you know, if that doesn't apply to you, then obviously disregard that. But someone here one or both of you can still be dealing with this. Now, the final thing I'm looking at with the Devil card is this sort of attachment energy. I am guessing that probably the healthiest thing that you can do, which is in your highest good, is to maybe get out of that particular dark energy. You don't have to do anything with regard to this connection to do this next step. This is more like cleansing your own energy, especially if you feel like a particular chakra resonates, such as the heart chakra. So to cleanse your energy, to cut any ties or release any ties or energy that you feel are within yourself, toxic or negative or unserving, again, just within yourself. By you doing this, you are putting in some nice efforts to either heal you or heal the whole situation, regardless of the connection itself, like just the whole thing. This energy, I feel, does need to be healed, okay? Any other final message for group 4? The Death card, okay. Yeah, like I said, I do feel like some kind of cycle is coming to an end in the near future. Please don't ask me when, because it's like all over the map. But it is happening, I feel, okay? Just continue to do your thing, you know, healing, manifesting, balancing, finding joy, finding creativity. That's all we can do, right? I know that all of the readings, all of the groups in this reading, it is a little bit to be continued, because there's a whole different topic here that this brings, is like, okay, well, will they answer if I reach out, or like this or that? Like, there's so many other questions. So for now, this is what I'm seeing, group 4, and I may have some other pick of cards that could answer some questions for you, but if anything, I can do another one in the future. You can let me know below some ideas if you have them, or if you just want a personal reading. The info for that is below. It's calendly.com/fireflytarot. The link is below. But I think I'll just leave it here. I hope that this was helpful in some way. Group 4, thank you so much for watching. And if you are new here and if you enjoyed this, please feel free to subscribe. It really helps out my channel. Thank you so much again, and I will see you guys next time, okay? Blessings. Bye-bye.